The times are here! Hey everyone, my name is Saran Times and welcome to the Forever Saran Times. So this is going to be a place where we talk about the hottest topics in politics, entertainment, and honestly, any story that's really buzzing on the internet. I want you all to know that this is going to be a credible news source, okay? I've worked for some of the most credible organizations in the US, such as these. And throughout my journey at each of these places, I've learned so much. And now I'm ready to bring all of that knowledge to you all here on YouTube. But anyway, enough about me. If you guys want to know more about me or more about the places that I've been, leave a comment down below and let me know what questions that you guys might have. But let's get into some hot topics. So honestly, the hottest topic that actually occurred yesterday definitely has to be this fight between Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul. We know that he's actually slated to fight Jake Paul's brother.
And it sucks that a YouTuber's gonna take all
and
that
guess
away
what?
from you.
I fight
a
real
fucking
fighters.
Pokemon collecting, podcasting host that does YouTube. About to beat the greatest history fighter of all time.
I fight real fighters.
History fighter?
So guess what? I'm willing to fight both in the same night.
No, you ain't.
I mean, Logan Paul really did acknowledge the fact that Floyd Mayweather, he's a legend. But of course he didn't give him this compliment without some jabs at the end.
So,
Bro, I know what you did to your wife.
one thing about me.
Floyd's 50-0. Nah, he's 51-1. He beat his wife too.
See, Logan and Floyd had their back and forth banter on the stage. But afterwards, Jake Paul had some words for him as well.
You want to run a tour one night?
Absolutely.
You want to run a tour one night?
Absolutely.
So let's make it
Absolutely.
happen.
Let's do it.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Yes, sir.
Get the paperwork for this bum.
Get Al Heyman.
Absolutely. I don't need Al Heyman.
Let me call Al Heyman.
I'm my own
Let's make it
boss.
happen.
I'm my own
Tour
boss.
one night. Got your hat.
Guys, that really was not looking too good. And actually, it seems as if Jake Paul planned this in advance.
About to steal Floyd Mayweather's hat. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
But too bad for him, he kind of ended up with a black eye, according to what we saw in the video he made after. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? You were going to approach Floyd Mayweather and leave unscathed? I'm really confused. And I mean, celebrities had a field day with this altercation, such as rapper 50 Cent, who said, "WTF going on Champhead? I heard he had his pubic hair put on his face, LOL." And Charlemagne the God saying, "I'ma tell my kids this was Selma in 1965, a turning point in the civil rights movement. They knucked, we bucked." But honestly, the funniest celebrity remarks had to be the one from Rich the Kid and Ray J. Jake Paul even got a tattoo to commemorate this historic event. Well, I mean, I guess it was historic to him. Well, in other boxing news, we definitely have to talk about this back and forth between CJ So Cool and Chris Sales on YouTube. See, I mean, these are two YouTube stars, and recently, CJ So Cool put up a video of him crying on YouTube after the mother of his children left him in the home that they have alone.
I know that it would actually feel like this, but Leah is going to.
So of course, everyone took this crying video and started making fun of CJ So Cool, saying, "You kind of put this upon yourself."
I don't get it. I did everything that you always wanted, and all I get in return is cheating, 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 cheating!
But not only did they tell him that he put it upon himself, they also compared him to Chris Sales. As we all know, Chris Sales had this whole situation with Queen Naija, who's an amazing singer, and who was able to leave him and move on to bigger and better things. So of course, them both being YouTube stars, them both having women who've left them both having children with these women, led fans to compare the two of them. And CJ So Cool decided to address those comparisons on Instagram Live.
Having my name in their mouth, like CJ So Cool talking about, I ain't gonna be like that nigga Chris Sales. Like, keep my name out your mouth, nigga. I've been good.
But see, Chris Sales was not here for none of that. He was like, "Why are you bringing me into a situation that has nothing to do with me?" And now, guys, they want to box it out. First, they had a conversation on live, and it was actually a bit rough.
When I went and did the story, did you watch it or did you just get mad that I said your name? Did you even watch what I said?
No, I didn't even watch it.
That's what happened. You see, now listen. In my story, I didn't say nothing negative about you. I actually said something positive about you, bro. And then you came back and said I was gay. You laughed at the fact I was
shots. You still threw a slug. It doesn't matter.
Queen took your soul, bro. Queen took your soul, bro. Let me tell you this right now.
Hey,
you're lame as hell, and I'm finna knock you the fuck out. Simple, bro.
Now they've both been practicing their boxing moves and want to actually meet up in the ring. Guys, this has to be a joke. I think they're doing this for ratings. Like, it definitely has to be a joke. I mean, I don't think that CJ So Cool is lying about the mother of his children leaving him or anything like that. And of course, those genuinely look like real tears. I think it takes a lot for anyone to come on camera and show their true emotions. But this whole back and forth with Chris Sales, it just has to be a joke. Well, moving on from that, I want to introduce a segment called Relationship Mill. In this segment, we will be talking about all the relationships in pop culture. Now, one relationship that's made a lot of headlines this week definitely has to be that of Erica Mena and Safaree Samuels. Of course, the couple is married and they share a child. A beautiful child at that. But Erica Mena is actually expecting baby number 2. See, after she made this announcement, fans were up in arms because they didn't believe that Safaree Samuels deserved to have another baby with this hottie. But I just have to say that Erica Mena is one of the most beautiful pregnant women I have ever seen. Like, look at this lady. She is snatched. But fans just believe that after he made critical comments about her appearance during pregnancy, that she should have just left him straight there.
But tell him why you don't want another one. Because I got too big during my pregnancy.
No, I didn't say that.
Tell him.
Yeah, see, first of all, I never said that. Yo, she's making this up.
You mentioned my stomach afterwards.
Oh, wow.
I didn't say she got too big. I just said...
Yes, you did. You said you got too big, I got too big. I don't want to be fat again. That's what you said.
You're perfect.
I'm so perfect, you don't want more kids with me.
I would love to. You just let someone else carry it.
I'm not Kim Kardashian.
Not only that, but they've had several back and forth arguments on social media, including a tweet from Safaree that said, "I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Getting married was one of my biggest mistakes and it will never happen again." To which Erica Mena responded, "Since you always run to social media like a little girl, I might as well join in. I absolutely agree with you on this. You are the most selfish, vain, and inconsiderate person, and not just with me, but your only daughter." And of course, you guys know the queen of hot topics definitely had to give her take on this situation.
I don't really know you much, Erica, but I do know Safaree enough. And you all need to stop fighting and threatening divorce so much. And babies don't save marriages, but good luck with at least your first 6 months. Yeah.
But Erica Mena was not having that. So this is what she had to say to Wendy Williams. At Wendy Williams, "At this point, let's link up so I can beat your ex-husband didn't do a good enough job." Yikes, that was pretty rough. And I mean, I understand that marriages have their ups and their downs, but they brought it to social media. We didn't have to know about anything that was going on in their relationships. So what I'm hoping for is that she has a safe and healthy delivery because, yo, that woman, she makes beautiful children, okay? And she's beautiful herself. And I do believe that this life that she's bringing into the world should be celebrated because, hello, it's a baby. Like, the baby has nothing to do with this whole situation between mom and dad. But I'm hoping that going forward in their marriage, they decide to refrain from social media and try to figure out their issues before they put it on the gram and on Twitter. So the queen of hot topics and other people around won't be able to have a say-so in what's happening in their marital home. And then we have JT and Uzi with their first ever cover together. I mean, y'all, this couple is very hot. I mean, I know some people have their critiques and they don't think that JT fits Uzi and they feel like Uzi's making JT weird. But honestly, in my opinion, if JT's happy, then I'm happy. As we know, she's been through a lot and she deserves to have as much happiness as everybody else. And I mean, what is weird? Like, I really genuinely don't know what's weird because people are different. I mean, every artist has their quirks about them that make them as successful as they are. I don't think that there's anything weird about that. Like, I mean, okay, he likes to play video games and he dresses a certain way and he has a diamond in his forehead. I mean, yeah, what's wrong with that? So let's go to the feud that's going on between Leray and Rolling Ray. So the two have been feuding over the internet over the word purr. As we know, the word purr has become a phenomenon for real. Everybody uses it under the Instagram comments. People use it as a phrase to say yes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's become a word that's a part of the urban vocabulary. And most of us know that this word kind of originated from Rolling Ray.
It's nothing. Purr.
But Leray has this song called Big Purr that's become viral on TikTok and everybody's dancing to. And it's honestly like a song that you just kind of just want to sing whenever, like Big Purr.
Friends do when you gagging. Yeah, he call me Big Purr. Come make the pussy purr. The SRT maker get.
So they've been going back and forth over that word because Rolling Ray really wanted some of his credit. Like, credit my sis, okay? He wanted credit for his word. And Leray doesn't really want to give him credit for it and says that she didn't even use the word purr. She used the word purred. And here's some of what Rolling Ray had to say.
Oh, stop playing so much, little girl. Oh, E. coli. That's why her name is E. coli. She starts off as a bacteria and spreads from here to her stomach and her intestine. Get stop playing so much. She has no weight on her bones. Nevertheless, oh, come at your best. When you first made the song, when you and Pooh Shiesty made that song, y'all called it Big Blur, I never cared. Oh, my mother grave, oh, never cared. Yeah, oh, stop playing so much. Fast forward. Then you want to do a remix with Carisha. No, I don't like her. Stop playing so much. People know what they do and don't do out here. And the Big Purr Mix video still coming out.
Rolling Ray. Did you just call Leray E. coli? I mean, as we know, Rolling Ray comes up with a lot of these catchphrases and stuff. And I mean, maybe Leray should just give him his credit. Like, come on now, it's a word. I don't know if he's coined the term or trademarked it or anything like that, but maybe that would also be a suggestion for something that he wants to do if he doesn't want anybody to profit off of the word that he kind of made famous in pop culture. Okay, we have to talk about Brandon Mitchell. Brandon Mitchell was juror 52 in the George Floyd case. Of course, after the historic verdict in the George Floyd case, the Black community, and honestly the world, just had something to finally celebrate because it seemed as though Black lives were finally being seen. And that our lives were actually being acknowledged. It's one of the first cases in my lifetime where I've ever seen a police officer get convicted for murdering a Black man. Although we've seen the same thing happen over and over and over again. So this really felt like victory for once. But now what's been in headlines definitely has to be Juror 52 Brandon Mitchell, who was one of the jurors in this case. See, as a person on a jury, you're going to be asked a couple of important questions that allow the lawyers and the judges to provide a fair trial for the person on trial. So one of the questions that they asked the jurors was, did you or someone close to you participate in any of the demonstrations or marches against police brutality that took place in Minneapolis after George Floyd's death? If you participated, explain how much you were involved. If you participated, did you carry a sign? What did it say? Well, guys, Brandon Mitchell actually answered no to all of those questions. And now this picture has been surfacing on the internet of him wearing a shirt that says, "Get your knee off our necks." And he also attended a march where George Floyd's family actually spoke. Of course, with all the jurors, it was inevitable for them to know about this story. It was one of the biggest stories that happened last year. But the thing is, there's a conflict now because he was wearing the shirt that said, "Get your knee off our necks." And of course, that slogan is synonymous with exactly what happened to George Floyd. It's what happened to George Floyd. And I mean, I understand the need of wanting to be a part of history in that way, but being a part of history at what cost? At the cost of taking away the happiness from all these Black people who finally feel as though their lives have been seen. And my thing is, he started doing this press run where I saw so many videos of him. He didn't have to do any of that. Like, no one would have known who he was. Jurors have the right to confidentiality. But so many people are so pressed for this 15 minutes of fame, and it's like 15 minutes of fame that's now probably going to end you up in trouble. and that could have the entire case overturned, I don't think that it's worth it. Well guys, that's all for the Forever Saran Times today, and I just wanted to take this chance to dedicate my first episode of the Forever Saran Times to my wonderful father, Mulku Sulaiman Terawali, who passed away last year in December and has been my journalism hero. My dad was a journalist himself, a career-long journalist, and inspired me in so many ways to be the person that I am today, and I definitely wouldn't be here or anywhere that I've been without him. I'm so grateful for him, and I wish that he was here to see this moment of me finally doing my YouTube channel. He tried to push me and push me and push me so hard to do this, but of course, because I was under contract with different internships and things like that, I wasn't able to have my own voice. But now that I finally do, I'm going to be coming here full force and giving you guys all that I've got and all that he's taught me. So thank you, Daddy. And if you guys have any comments about the stories that I talked about today, please leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys want me to talk about next. Thank you. Bye.